Namaste. Welcome. My name is Toni Minard, and this will be a gentle, slow flow, total body. I just wanted to mention that this is the last of the series of videos for this month, but do not fear. I will be making a whole new set of videos coming to you every week, 1 full hour and 2 shorter classes each week, and it would be $10 for the entire month. That is a total of 12 yoga classes for $10. That's less than $1 a class. So go ahead and shoot me an email if you'd like to continue this in the month of May. So let's get started by coming to a comfortable, easy pose. And just take a moment here to connect with the breath. You can close your eyes or gaze softly at the floor. And just start to notice the breath, maybe for the first time today. Noticing the way it's coming in and out of the nostrils. Noticing the way it's flowing through the nasal passages. Noticing the way it's affecting the chest as your lungs fill up and as your lungs empty. And then noticing the belly rising as you inhale and then gently falling as you exhale. Let's just follow that for a few more rounds, inhaling, expanding, and filling up. And exhale, contracting and emptying out completely. Let's take one more mindful breath. In your next inhale, open your eyes. And just try to keep your attention on that breath throughout the practice. Just make sure you're breathing and you're not holding it. And we're going to come onto tabletop position. Hands right under the shoulders. Okay, wrists under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. And let's first find a neutral spine, so in between an arch and a rounding. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. And then let's just inhale, start to find our first arch. And then exhale, start to find a rounding. This is called cat's cow. Let's just continue to flow through this with the breath. So inhaling, arching, bringing the heart forward. And then exhaling, rounding, tucking in the pelvis. Take a few more rounds. Last round. And then find a neutral spine. So that means you're in between an arch and in between a rounded back. There's a no natural curve. And then I want you to draw that navel back towards the spine, kind of cinching in the waist. Bring the right arm forward, left leg back for bird dog. And you can just stay here or you can lift that foot up. Maybe you even just lift and then lower down. Just find your bird dog. This is your yoga practice. Reach, 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 reach. And release. Shake out that wrist. Wag the tail. And then come back into the center. Find your tabletop position with neutral spine. Inhale, left arm forward, right leg back, bird dog. Again, find your bird dog. Navel cinches in towards the spine. And breathe. And release. Shake out the wrist, wag the tail. Find your neutral spine. This time we're going to take bird dog again, right arm, left leg, and we're going to crunch it in. They don't have to touch elbow and knee. but you're crunching in towards that. Let's take 4 more with control. No strain to the back or neck. And release, shake, wag. And let's find bird dog on the other side, left arm, right leg. And with your exhale, crunch it out. Four more. Breathe. And shake it and wag it. And let's find child's pose, knees wide, feet touching. You're wanting to sit down towards the heels and then lower the body down to the mat. You can stack your hands and rest your head here, just releasing the lower back. And let's come back to that breath. Let's inhale, filling up the entire body with a breath. And then exhale, completely emptying every bit of air out. Completely exhale. Let's do that again. Complete big breaths. One more. And then let's come up to downward dog. So oftentimes we are doing something called shallow breathing. We're not taking full breaths. So let's take this opportunity to have full breaths. Walk your hands slightly in front so they're not directly under your shoulders. Spread your fingers, tuck your toes, lift up into down dog. Anytime we're in down dog, you can feel free to come down to child's pose. Walk your dog. Broaden your shoulder blades, bringing your shoulders away from your ears. Draw your navel towards your spine, and then just walk it to the top of your mat, finding your rag doll. So you're going to bend the knees as much as you can so that the torso rests on the thighs, and just kind of hang here. Let your neck drop. And then roll it up very slowly. Last thing to come up is your head. And let's take a moment here to find mountain pose. So we're going to be moving gently and slowly, but you're still going to be working your body, getting your heart rate up. If you do want to increase that calorie burning power, then you're going to keep your lips sealed and in and out through the nostrils. If at any time you become overheated, let that breath out of your mouth. Now I'm starting with a little cover up today because it's a little cool, but eventually this is going to come off. Even though we're moving slowly, we are warming things up. These gentle movements have huge benefits. And so we're going to inhale, arms up, chest lifts, and then we're going to exhale, folding it forward. Again, bend the knees, not the back. Release your head. And then we're going to slide the hands up the shin, elongating the spine, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step that right leg back, coming into a runner's lunge. I want you to press through this back heel and then draw this left knee right over the ankle so you feel that nice right front hip stretch. And then we're just going to plant this right hand or this right fist, and we're just going to do a little twist to the left. Make sure you don't hurt your knee, don't overdo it. And then we're going to exhale, bring that left hand back down, come down onto the very front of the right knee, not directly on it. And then we're just going to straighten this first leg, this front leg, coming into a half split. You can flex the toes, you can walk the hands back. And then we're going to come back and we're going to bring the heart forward so we're in a low lunge. And then we're going to bring the left knee right next to the right knee. And we're not in tabletop. Our hands are forward, but we're not sinking down. We're scooping the belly, pressing into the mat. This is plank. Take a few breaths here. And we're going to chaturanga it down. Let's come back towards child's pose and then just kind of slink it through onto the belly. Bring the hands under the shoulders, shoulder blades come together. Press that pubic bone into the mat. Maybe your heart starts to come forward and lift. Baby cobra, don't strain the neck. Don't strain the lower back. Exhale, come down. Tuck your toes. We're going to go back towards child's pose. And then downward dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, lift the heels, bring that right foot between the hands. You can use your hand, guys. Press through the left heel, right knee over the ankle. Plant your left hand, take a twist to the right, not compromising the knee. Back into the center, come down onto the very front of that left knee, and just straighten this front leg for a half split. Coming back to low lunge, bring your heart forward. Tuck your back toes, lift the knees, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, elongate the spine. Exhale, fold, and then swan dive up, hands to heart center. One sun salutation, I'm already warming up. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. I just wanted to show you how much these gentle movements affect and impact the body. Inhale, arms up, sun salutation B. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Come into your chair squat. So you don't want your knees way over here. We want to bring the weight into the heels and the knees back so we can see the toes. And then come up into your chair. You might be up here. This is okay. You're going to feel it in the quads and the glutes. Sit back like you're about to sit in a chair and someone pulls it back. Do whatever you need with the arms. Whatever you need. So that your shoulders and neck are nice and loose. And add a little buoyancy. Add a little bounce if you need to at first. Or if you have any kind of like arthritis in the joints, just keeping that little bounce is really healthy for the joints. Let's take another breath here. Maybe you can sit back a little more. So you're not sitting down as much as you're sitting back and then down. And then exhale, fold. Make sure your feet are on railroad tracks. Slide the right leg back. Coming up into high lunge. So my back heel is up. If you're leaning forward, just bend that back knee so you can come upright into high lunge. Hips are square. Right arm comes up, left arm comes up. Left arm. Keep a bend in the elbows, shoulders soft. We're going to step up into warrior 3 here. So we're going to do it 3 times, very slow, very gentle. 1, trying to come back. 2, 3, maybe you hold this one, maybe you don't. Back toes are pointing down. Press through that back heel if your leg is straight. Then come back into warrior 1. High lunge. Fold it forward. Coming into your plank. Take a breath. Chaturanga. Slide it through. Find the pubic bone in the mat. Shoulder blades together, baby cobra. Neck is long. Exhale down, tuck the toes. Downward dog. Take a breath or 2 here. Catch your breath. Let's take 3-legged dog. So walk your feet close. Just lift the left leg, but don't open the hip. So just imagine there's a book on the back of your hips, for your glutes, and we don't want it to fall off. Press through the left heel, spread the toes, release. Let's do that with the right leg. And then we're going to bring that right foot between the hands. Back heel's lifted, feet are on railroad tracks, coming up into high lunge. Again, bend that back knee. Right knee's right over the ankle. Maybe just your left arm lifts. If you need balance, that's okay. Maybe both. Now let's take that warrior 3. 1. Take your time. 2. If you need some help with the wall, grab onto the wall. 3. Maybe you can hold it today. Maybe you're here. Both knees bent. Maybe you start to straighten the knees. Maybe the arms come out like an airplane. Draw that navel in towards the spine to protect the spine. Back into high lunge. Fold it forward, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Come into that chair squat. You're about to sit back in the chair. Keep some buoyancy here. And then we're gonna act like we're gonna stand up, but then we're gonna sit back down. Act like you're gonna stand up, oh, sit back down. But don't bring those knees forward. Okay, you're sitting back in the chair, up and back in the chair. Up, back in the chair. One more, up, back in the chair. And then let's come all the way up. Big volcano and mountain. And shake it out. Let's do one more sun salutation. Getting that heart rate up. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Feet are on railroad tracks. Right leg steps back. This time the heel goes in the mat. So my right foot's kind of pivoting out to the right. Hips are still facing forward. Coming up, straighten the knee as much as you need to come upright. Maybe you can bend that knee. Draw the glutes, the tailbone, that sacrum, that lower back, upper buttocks down. Skin goes down. And then cinch the waist in and back. This is warrior one. We're gonna do a heart opener. So bring your hands to your glutes and lift the heart forward and up. Not really a back bend. Shoulder blades squeeze together like you're squeezing a quarter. Press through the pinky toe side of the right foot to light up and fire up that right glute. Left knee is over the left ankle, squeezing towards the baby toe. Navel cinching in, fold forward. Come into your plank, take a breath here. We're gonna do some yogi push-ups here. So even if you just move an inch, I'd rather you move a half of an inch and be able to have integrity and not sink down your hips, okay? So the other thing is the elbows brush against the side in yogi push-ups. They don't go out. That's safer. So brushing the elbows in, maybe you just go an inch or half an inch, but be able to come back up. Let's do that 2 more times. One more time, let's hold this. And then come all the way down, very slowly, squeeze the elbows in. Hands under your shoulder blades come together, pubic bone in the mat, coming up into high, low cobra. If it doesn't hurt your back, you might be able to come up higher, but there should be no pinching in the lower back. Exhale, coming down, tuck your toes, come towards child's and downward dog. And this time we're gonna take 3-legged dog with an open hip. So walk your feet in, lift your left leg. This time you're gonna bend the knee and open that hip out to the left. Maybe even look under your left armpit. And release. And let's do that with the right leg. We're gonna take warrior one on the other side. So bring your right foot between your hands, plant the left heel, left foot pivots out to the left, and then coming up into warrior one. Now again, this time you can straighten the front leg to come upright. Glutes draw down, navel cinches in. Squeeze that left glute as you press the pinky toe side of the left foot. Maybe you can bend the right knee. Hands to your glutes, squeeze the shoulder blades together, heart comes forward. Folding it forward, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift, elongate the spine without straining the neck. Exhale, fold it in deep, take a breath here. Maybe you grab the backs of your ankles and hug yourself in. And then we're gonna come back into that last chair. We're gonna come up super slow. Imagine you're squeezing a ball between your inner thighs. And mountain. Shake it out. Good, let's turn to face the long end of our mat. Bring our feet about 3 feet apart. Feet are straight. Turn, I'll mirror you, so we're gonna turn the right toes to face the right end of the mat. The back foot pivots in. This time you're on a balance beam. So roughly my front heel is in line with my back arch. Bend that knee, don't pronate. Keep it over the ankle. Open up towards the long end of your mat. Arms come out. Warrior two, take a breath here. Maybe looking over at your right hand. We're going to take a reverse warrior. So bring the left hand to your hip, lean forward, and then just come into a side bend, but without crunching in. So we're opening the right side, but we don't want to crunch in too much on the left side, so don't overdo it. This is reverse warrior. And then come back to warrior two. We're going to take side angle warrior. So bring the right elbow to the right thigh. Top hand to the shoulder. Open your heart. Maybe your hand zippers over. Coming up, we're going to take triangle now. Straighten the front leg, but keep a micro bend. Arms come out, lean forward, and then just place that right hand like on the inside of your thigh. Maybe the inside of your lower leg. Top hand reaches towards the sky. Don't stick your butt out. Draw those glutes down towards the heels, navel in. Imagine you're between two sheets of glass. Coming up, we're going to do it on the other side. Pivot the right foot in, the left toes towards the left end of the mat. Bend that knee, find your warrior two. You might be closer, you might be wider. Bring that knee towards the baby toe. And again, watch that buttocks. Draw it down, navel in, shoulders soft. And reverse warrior, back hand to your hip. Lean forward, come into a gentle side bend, don't overdo it. Coming back, let's now come into side angle warrior. Again, watch your butt, don't let it stick out. Coming up, we're going to do triangle. Straighten the front knee, but with a micro bend. Lean forward, and then your arms are just coming out to the sides. You're kind of leaning against the leg. Navel cinches in. And then come up. Walk it in, shake it out. Let's take a yogi squat. So, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. If you have a yoga block, go ahead and grab that, or even a little footstool works nice. Even some stacked books. You may not need it, but a lot of us, we sit a lot, and so we do have tight hips. And so what we're gonna do is for a yogi squat, we're gonna bring our feet not as wide as we were in our warriors, but a little wider than hip distance. Toes are kind of coming out. There's softness in the knees. And keep that buoyancy as we lower down. You're kind of sticking that butt out. Watch your knees. You don't want to hurt your knees. So maybe you're here today for your yogi squat. Just keep a tall spine. Keep a tall spine. So even if you're this way, your spine is tall. Imagine a skewer from the crown going into the crown and out the tailbone. And maybe you have to lift your heels as you come down. That's okay. Maybe you come down like this. Maybe you're all the way. There's where the block or the books can come in handy. You can sit on them and just let those hips open up. We're just gonna do a pre-crow. So you're gonna bring your hands to the floor. They're about a foot in front of your feet. You're gonna lift up your butt, and then you're gonna kind of walk your heels in a little close, toes out, scoop your belly out, press into the mat. It's almost like a plank. You're pressing and you're scooping, working towards a crow. And then come back down and come to sit on your bottom. Good. All right, now we're going to cross the ankles and come into tabletop position. And we're going to take some core and upper body strength. So we're going to come down onto our forearms. Very important that your elbows are right under the shoulders. And go ahead and make fists with your hand. And now we're going to take that plank. Walk your feet back. Don't let your butt sink in. Scoop the belly out. Press into the elbows and the forearms. So there's almost a rounding of your shoulders. Neck is long. Let's take a few more breaths here. This is forearm plank. Maybe one day you'll come to the toe plank. If you're not there, that's okay. Keep that neck soft. And then we're going to come back into child's pose. So I'm going to bring my knees a little wider and just kind of come back. And take a breath here. So this is working our upper body strength and our core at the same time. And it's very gentle on the back for core. So we're going to do that again. We're going to come into our forearm tabletop. Elbows right under the shoulders. Make a fist. Press into the elbows. Press into the forearms. Press into the fist. And then we're going to tuck the toes and just with bent knees try to come up towards a downward dog. And then come back down, just take a breath here. Let's do that again. Press, lift, scoop the belly. This is working towards dolphin. And let's do one more. See if you can hold it for about 3. Press into the forearms. Press, 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 scoop the belly. Lower down, take that child's pose. Maybe you stack your hands and rest your head. Maybe you want to reach your hands towards the top of the mat and bring your forehead to the mat. And you can kind of rock the forehead. And you can kind of pump out your fists. Good. And now we're going to come up into a staff pose. Feet are straight. If you are rounding, either put a bend in your knees or sit up, elevate the hips. We're going to hug in that right knee. We're going to open it out to the side, press the foot on the inside of the foot, flex your left toes and your left knee are both facing the ceiling. Now just stay here with a tall spine or see if you can start to hinge forward. Now remember that skewer with a straight back. Navel scoops back towards the spine. Just feel an opening on this left leg, that's what we're going for, and the right hip. If your foot's pressing against the inside of the knee, that's fine. Doesn't have to be all the way on the thigh, inner thigh. And then we're going to come up. We're going to pick up this right knee. We're going to either move it about 2 fists away from the leg or cross it over the leg. Your right hand becomes a kickstand. You want a tall spine. And then you're just going to twist and kind of hug your thigh towards your right. Make sure you're flexing your left toes towards the ceiling. And let's release that and get the other side. Hug that left knee in. Open that left hip out. If it's way up here, put a pillow under it. Use any props. Bring that foot against the thigh or the knee. Flex the right toes and the right knee facing straight up. Maybe you hinge forward. Maybe you're just like this today. Be where you're at. Scoop that belly in towards the spine. Relax the neck. Slowly walk it back up. We're going to do that twist. So again, 2 fists apart or crossing it over. Left hand becomes a kickstand. You want to be able to sit up tall, toes towards the ceiling, and just hug your thigh. I'm going to kind of grab onto my yoga pants for a little lock there. Don't lead with the neck and shoulders. Lead with a twist from the navel and the torso. And the neck and shoulders are just along for the ride. And untwist. Come back in. Shake it out. Let's take cobbler's pose. Feet come together. And even here, you can be sitting up. If you're rounding, you can place pillows under your knees. Really get comfortable in this. Maybe you're here today. Just keeping an upright spine is working enough muscle, and that's okay. Navel cinches in. Maybe you can start to lean forward, kind of hinge forward. Remember the skewer. Maybe you can reach your feet and open them like a book. Maybe your elbows want to press open the thighs. Listen to your body, it will tell you. Again, it's not nose to the toes for this pose. There is a pose that does that. That's a nice little Dr. Seuss rhyme. But this is not that. This is a hinging at the hips, opening the hips, the inner thighs. And then we're going to come back up. We're going to bring those knees in. We're going to come over onto our backs. We're gonna lower down as slow as we can. So don't let the knees splay out. And you're gonna start to round as you lower down. Maybe grab behind your thighs. Just try to keep your feet down. Try to come down as slow as you can. Take a nice stretch, a nice long stretch. And we're gonna come into a bridge. So bring your heels towards your sit bones. Imagine you're squeezing that ball between your thighs. Come into robot arms, press and lift. And then just lower down. We're only lifting about halfway. Squeeze the thighs in. As you lift, you're gonna squeeze the lower butt cheeks in. Lower down, lift, lower down, lift, lower down. This last one, we're gonna lift, trying not to squeeze the butt cheeks as much as we lift the pelvis, open the pelvis towards the sky. Squeeze those inner thighs. Maybe the hands come down. Breathe. Slowly lower down. Untuck the shoulder blades. Walk your feet a little wider, maybe forward. Arms come into goalpost. And then just release both knees over to the right. Maybe you look to your left. Maybe you look straight up. Maybe you rock your head. And then back into the center. Realign your hips here. And then let your knees fall to your left. And then just come into your Shavasana. I like to let my knees fall in, feet wide. Make sure your shoulder blades are broad. Just kind of open your arms out. Let's take a nice cleansing breath in through the mouth. In through the nose. Let's let it out with a noise through the mouth. Great way to release stress. Let's do that one more time. Let it out. And just let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. Noticing the breath first in the nostrils. And then in the nasal passages. And then in the lungs. Just follow this breath, rising and falling. And then feel this breath in your entire body, as if it's filling up your body from your head to your fingertips to your toes, and then letting it out. And then start to wake up the body by wiggling your fingers and toes and making little movements here. And then bending the knees towards your chest and rolling onto your favorite side. You're gonna rest your head on your arm just for a moment here. Feel the groundedness, the support of the earth with your other hand. And then coming up into a seated position. Maybe cross-legged, maybe not, guys. Being kind to your body, being grateful for your body and the gift that God has given you, being grateful for what you're able to do with this body this day. And then bring your hands to heart center into Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.